So, the autopilot. A lot of people talk about it, some don't talk about it at all. But anyway, where can you use it? Where is it safe to use it? Where should you not use it at all? And what's okay and what's not okay? Well, let's take a look on different kinds of roads where you can use these things. One thing is for sure that a lot of places it really works perfectly, and some places it doesn't work at all. But anyway, always keep your eyes on the road, pay attention, and even though you don't need to keep your hands on the steering wheel all the time, it's nice to keep your eyes on the road. So, let's take a look. So when I use the auto steering, the autopilot, I engage it, of course, and I let go of the steering wheel. Of course, I can have one hand holding on the steering wheel on the bottom, and or I can have them here, but I don't see the point, because then I have to really hold them extremely loose, and there's just a dingle on them. Yeah, but I can have one down at the bottom of the steering wheel, and then I don't need to touch it all the time, because there is this warning coming up that I need to hold the steering wheel for a while. Normally I just have my hands up here or down here and the other one down here, and just pay attention to the road and see how it goes. And I feel quite relaxed actually, but the most places I can really relax is on the big highways, because on smaller roads I need to pay more attention, even though the autopilot works perfectly. And of course, always look out for sheeps in the road. Hello, Mr. Sheepy. Okay, so as you can see, we are now at this dusty road up in the mountains, and of course the autopilot does not work here at all. Of course the cruise control works. Just pop up to the 30, and there you see the cruise control symbol at the left. So there you go, 34. So that works, of course, perfectly. A lot of sun here, sorry about that. But of course, no lines. So, of course, auto steer not available at all. So, now we are approaching a little bit better road. And what happens? So now we are on this kind of road, and you see there is a line on the left and on the right, but not in the middle. But the car will detect the line on the right side, and the symbol for auto steering approaches. So yes, we can use it, but I don't feel quite comfortable with this. Since this road is not so wide and very narrow, see, it loses the line sometimes, and it's not very safe. So I will not recommend it actually so very much. And it can also read the line on the left side of the road. So sometimes I've experienced that the car will be in the middle of the road. But it works. But you should pay attention, and I wouldn't recommend it. It works, but it's not made for this. And at this kind of speed, at least at the sharp turns, yeah, So you see now there's a sharp turn coming up, and the car is actually braking. It reduces the speed. I'm not doing anything. This is actually incredible. It's quite cool actually. It goes up to 85 again. Put it 5 above the speed limit. It works. But always pay attention. Please don't sit down and read a comic magazine or a dirty magazine. Oh, I don't like this at all. But it works. Now there's a turn coming up. It actually reduces the speed. I'm not doing anything. Oh, do you see that? Oh yeah, it lost on the line. Yeah. Well, now you know what can happen. So, please don't do this. Okay, so we're reaching a bigger road now. We're going right. See if I can get out. Okay, here we go. And engaging. Speed limit is 80. 97, just following the car in front. And on these roads you see there is a perfect line on the left and a perfect line on the right. So the car stays in the middle, and as long as you keep your speed to the speed limit, it will be okay. Of course, there are some sharp turns where the speed limit are reduced to 40. But the car actually do this by itself now, because if I push the brakes, of course, then I will shut down the cruise control and the auto steering and the whole autopilot thing. So these roads, it works perfectly as long as you keep your distance. I always have it on 7, and keep your speed limit, then it will really work. The car in front of you will of course decide your speed also. If your speed is set way higher than him, and if he goes up and down with speed, your car just go up and down with speed. Here it gets wider. Let's see what happens. It loses the line on the right, but it keeps on the middle, and it takes the line on the right again, and it's this. Yeah. So if one of the line goes away, the car will still be on the road. So here it just follows and works perfectly. So we are approaching this village, and here is a roundabout. And if you think that the autopilot works in the roundabout, you're wrong. It doesn't. And I will show that to you now. As you see now, we are so close to the car in front of us that the car turned blue. And because the car doesn't read the lines anymore, because the car is so... Yeah. So, let's see what happens. Okay, just forget about it. Okay, it didn't work at all. So I had to abort and to take the wheel by myself. What's wrong? Now, some of the turns I find a little bit too sharp, and I've driven this road many times, so I know where they are. And now we are coming to that area. I think 85 is a little bit too fast, and I don't feel quite comfortable. Yes, that was a very close one, and I entered. But the autopilot, yeah, I disengaged it. I took over on the wheel, and the cruise control is still on, but the auto steering is off. Because it's under traffic, a lot of cars, and sometimes the traffic is extremely slow. So now we are not moving so extremely fast, And this is perfect for the autopilot. Yes, keeps a distance to the car in front, just following and steering by itself. And since the speed is so low right now, you don't need to touch your steering wheel at all for a long time. Works perfectly. Sweet. Yes, a lot of traffic on a Sunday, and the autopilot works perfectly. But a nice benefit of having an electric vehicle in Norway is that you can use the bus lane. So what am I doing here? I don't know. Yippee-ki-yay, fatherfuckers! And then we have the big highway. 2 lanes in the same direction. And this is the road that the autopilot was meant for. Perfectly. The lines are great, the view is nice and open, and you have full control, and it works perfectly, exactly as it's supposed to be. It's just magnificent, and hats off for the autopilot. So, the journey is over, and what is the conclusion? Well, the first road, of the dusty one, no freaking way. Of course, no lines, no control. The cruise control works, but of course not the autopilot. The second row, well, there are some lines there, and it works, sort of, but I don't feel comfortable at all doing it. So I wouldn't recommend it. The third road, nice, it really works, but pay attention. And the funny thing is that actually on the sharp turns the vehicle actually slow down, so that's nice. So yeah, and of course the big highways, not a problem at all, of course. But if there is a road construction and the pattern is changed or something like that, the car might have a problem, so you never know. So the conclusion is